a monstrous eruption which has left its mark on our planet. When Hunga Tonga Hunga Ha'apai blew its top in January, it scattered water vapour and ash halfway to space and sent tsunami waves swelling out across the world.
Communication with the Pacific island nation of Tonga remains limited since Saturday's volcanic eruption and the tsunami that came after it. It's believed the underwater cable that connects the archipelago to the rest of the world was severed during the disasters.
While everyone enjoyed the beautiful weather on a calm morning, a powerful tsunami suddenly struck the Pacific island nation of Tonga. Its massive waves reached shores far beyond, and it became the sole focus of breaking news across continents. Warnings were sent from the United States west coast to Alaska, causing people to scramble to safety. The source of this catastrophe was traced to a volcanic eruption at Hunga Tonga Hunga Ha'apai.
Every aspect of this eruption will be analyzed: the explosion, the ash cloud, the shockwave. But one of the first things being studied is simply the timeline.
Near the infamous Mariana Trench. But what caused this unexpected eruption, and how have scientists managed to understand this rare geological phenomenon? Join us as we explore this strange volcanic eruption and what the volcano might still have in store. The unexpected volcanic eruption. The Mariana Trench, located in the Pacific Ocean, is not just another underwater canyon. It holds the Challenger Deep, the deepest known point on Earth, plunging over 36,000 feet into darkness. This trench has long fascinated researchers with its mysteries, from its crushing pressures to its unique marine life, but no one expected it to be the stage for a volcanic eruption. The deep-sea earthquakes that preceded the disaster hinted at something unusual, but the scale of what followed was beyond imagination. Tectonic plate boundaries, the unseen giants beneath our feet, are crucial to understanding many geological events, including this eruption. The Mariana Trench, located at the meeting point of the Pacific and Philippine plates, is a region of immense geological activity. Over time, these two plates have been pushing against each other, building up enormous stress. This stress is a natural result of the plate's movement, but when it becomes too great, it can be released in violent events like volcanic eruptions or earthquakes. The eruption near the Mariana Trench was one such event where this accumulated stress finally found an outlet. In the days and weeks leading up to the eruption, there were several early signs of impending geological activity.
A massive underwater volcano in Tonga triggered tsunami waves across the world.
Subtle shifts in the Earth's crust, barely noticeable to the naked eye, were detected by specialized sensors. These shifts showed that the tectonic plates were moving, signaling that pressure was beginning to build. The surrounding water's temperature also began to rise, a sign of increased geothermal activity beneath the surface. Gases like carbon dioxide and methane were released from deep within the Earth, and this proved that something huge was about to occur. While these signs were detected by advanced monitoring systems, they still did not fully prepare scientists for the magnitude of the eruption that would follow. The sheer force with which the magma, ash, and gases erupted from the depths caught everyone by surprise, emphasizing the unpredictability of these natural forces. When the volcano finally unleashed its fury, it was a spectacle of both beauty and terror. A massive column of magma, ash, and gases burst into the ocean, creating plumes that reached unimaginable heights. The heat from the eruption rapidly evaporated seawater, adding to the chaos. Ash clouds darkened the skies, while shockwaves rippled through the water, triggering tsunamis that traveled thousands of miles. This chain reaction of events shows the interconnectedness of Earth's systems, where an underwater eruption could influence global weather patterns and ocean currents. Typically, an eruption of this gravity had huge impacts on the Earth, reaching far beyond the immediate area of destruction. But what effects exactly did this eruption have on the Earth? Let's find out. The impact of the eruption on the Earth.
The eruption was so powerful that it was recorded around the world and heard as far away as Alaska. It triggered giant waves along the Pacific coastlines from Japan to the United States.
As expected, the eruption near the Mariana Trench caused huge changes in the Earth's environment. The eruption's impact reached across the planet, from local disturbances to global consequences. One particular effect of the eruption was the formation of a volcanic plume and intense submarine explosions. This was an incredible and dramatic event, not only because of the scale of the eruption, but also because it brought about new changes in the geography of the region. In fact, the eruption even led to the formation of a potential new island, proving how Earth's surface is constantly evolving. As lava and ash were released into the ocean, they began a cycle of destruction and renewal that affects both the land and the sea. Marine ecosystems were severely disrupted by the eruption. Hydrothermal vents, which are important to supporting many marine species, were buried under thick layers of ash and debris. These vents, which release hot water rich in minerals, support an entire ecosystem of unique creatures. By burying them, the eruption temporarily destroyed these habitats. That's not all. At the same time, new habitats began to form as the volcanic activity created fresh conditions for marine life to evolve. The eruption not only destroyed existing life forms, but also paved the way for new ones to thrive. But the effects of the eruption don't end there. It also resulted in the release of gases into the atmosphere and the oceans. This eventually altered the water chemistry. It's no surprise that this was a major event for marine life, especially for coral reefs. Coral reefs are highly sensitive to changes in water temperature and chemistry. The gases released from the eruption affected the water's pH, potentially harming the corals and disturbing the balance of life around them. As these reefs are home to thousands of marine species, any disruption can lead to cascading effects on the entire ecosystem. This alteration in water chemistry could cause coral bleaching, where corals lose their vibrant colors and become weak, eventually leading to their death. The death of coral reefs would impact the many species that depend on them for food and shelter, disrupting entire food chains in the process. Things don't end there. The eruption also raised concerns about the risk of tsunami waves due to potential undersea landslides caused by the volcanic activity. These tsunamis, which are devastating, eventually happened, and although they were not that strong, the possibility of huge tsunami waves hitting coastal areas kept scientists and communities on high alert.
Within 20 minutes, a rush of waves hit the tiny island nation. Startled locals rushed to find higher ground as water crashed its way through. A river flooding streets and buildings, including this church.
The eruption demonstrated how interconnected Earth's systems are, where one event in the ocean can have a ripple effect that impacts everything from marine life to human communities. Coastal regions were closely monitored for any signs of tsunami activity, and advisories were issued to help protect people living in these areas. As the eruption continued to shape the environment, scientists worked tirelessly to understand the full extent of its impact. The eruption of such magnitude also had a huge impact on the civilians living near the affected areas. People who lived close to the Mariana Trench, especially those in nearby islands like Tonga, faced immediate dangers. The eruption caused a series of massive explosions and volcanic plumes that sent ash and gases into the sky, which could be seen from miles away. The air became thick with ash, making it difficult to breathe. People living near the coast had to quickly evacuate as tsunami warnings were issued, fearing huge waves from underwater explosions and landslides. Coastal communities were put on high alert, and many had to leave their homes, often with little time to gather belongings. As the ash rained down, it disrupted daily life in many places. People had to cover their faces to protect themselves from the harmful particles in the air. The air quality became hazardous, affecting not only humans, but also animals and plants. The ashfall also affected agriculture, as crops could be destroyed by the heavy layer of ash. People had to deal with the destruction of their homes, businesses, and livelihoods. The ocean currents also changed, and marine life was impacted. Fishermen faced difficulties as fish and other marine animals were displaced or killed by changes in the water. It is quite obvious that the effects of this eruption were felt in many ways, from the deep oceans to the atmosphere. How exactly are these two concepts connected? Keep watching to find out. The connection between the eruption and Earth's sustainability.
Communication with Tonga remains very limited, And I know that is causing a huge amount of anxiety for the Tongan community here who are trying to get hold of loved ones back home.
The eruption near the Mariana Trench triggered a lot of interest among scientists, as it revealed important aspects of Earth's deep processes. One of the most important things that happened was the involvement of a multinational research team using advanced technology to study the eruption. This technology included underwater drones that allowed scientists to gather detailed information about the eruption's effects on the ocean and the surrounding environment. Through these efforts, they were able to discover rare earth elements in the magma released during the eruption. These rare earth elements are minerals that are in high demand for many modern technologies, such as electronics, renewable energy systems, and electric vehicles. The discovery of these elements caused great interest in the possibility of deep-sea mining in the area. Scientists and business people began to look at this eruption as an opportunity to access these precious resources that lie deep beneath the ocean's surface. But these scientists also had a few concerns about the whole situation. They warned that mining in such fragile underwater ecosystems could lead to irreversible damage. The unique marine life that exists around deep-sea hydrothermal vents, for example, could be wiped out by the disturbance caused by mining operations. The deep ocean is still largely unexplored, and we do not fully understand the delicate balance that exists within these ecosystems. Mining for rare earth elements could have a huge impact on the biodiversity in these deep-sea environments, disrupting the delicate food chains that depend on the rich mineral and chemical environment created by underwater volcanic activity. The eruption itself demonstrated how even natural processes, like volcanic eruptions, can bring about major changes in the Earth's systems, and it also showed how human activity can either help or harm these systems. The eruption showed just how interconnected the Earth's different systems are. The release of magma, gases, and ash into the ocean impacted marine ecosystems, but it also affected the atmosphere, leading to changes in weather patterns and potentially global climate. As these scientists continue to study the eruption and its consequences, it becomes clear that understanding Earth's deep processes is essential for sustaining the planet. The data gathered from this event has provided valuable insights into how Earth's internal forces work, such as the way magma rises from the mantle and how volcanic eruptions occur. This information helps scientists better understand the forces that drive volcanic activity and how they contribute to the overall functioning of the planet. This deeper understanding of Earth's inner workings is very important for predicting and preparing for future geological events, such as eruptions or earthquakes, which can have serious consequences for human life and the environment. The eruption also shows that no matter how much we try to control or predict events, the forces of nature often have their own plans. The eruption is a testament to the fact that Earth is constantly changing, and our understanding of its processes is still developing. As much as we learn, there is always more to discover, and each new discovery brings with it both challenges and opportunities. The eruption has brought about a conversation about the need for exploration, conservation, and collaboration in understanding Earth's dynamics. Exploration is important because it allows us to gather more knowledge about the planet's processes and how they impact life on Earth. The eruption gave us a rare opportunity to observe the effects of volcanic activity in a place that is difficult to access and study. It showed the importance of using advanced technology, like underwater drones, to explore areas that are not easily reached. At the same time, this exploration must be balanced with conservation efforts to protect the planet's natural resources and ecosystems. It is important that we do not exploit the Earth's resources without considering the long-term consequences. Conservation efforts should go hand in hand with exploration to ensure that we are protecting the environment for future generations. Finally, collaboration between different countries, scientists, and organizations is crucial to understanding and addressing the complicated challenges facing the planet. The exact cause of these spikes remains a mystery, and further research is needed to understand their origins. The sudden and powerful underwater currents that the drone encountered added to the mystery. Unlike typical underwater currents driven by temperature differences or tides, these currents appeared to be influenced by unknown factors. The drone's sensors recorded these currents, which appeared and disappeared unpredictably. Some theories suggest that these currents could result from water displacement caused by seismic activity or underground shifts, but this hypothesis is not yet confirmed. The cave's unique topography, narrow passageways, and sudden depth changes might amplify these currents. The exact cause of these currents remains elusive, and scientists are still trying to understand their nature and origin. The conditions became increasingly harsh as the drone went deeper into Devil's Hole. The water pressure grew more intense, and the drone's lights flickered intermittently. At one point, the drone was tossed around by an invisible current, making it difficult to control. The erratic behavior of the drone's instruments and the sudden changes in the environment created a tense and dramatic situation for the team monitoring the footage. Despite these challenges, the drone successfully recorded valuable data and images, capturing unprecedented views of Devil's Hole. However, as it reached the deepest part of the cave, the drone's signals were lost, and it became clear that the exploration had reached its limits. The footage and data collected during this daring dive gave scientists new insights into Devil's Hole and raised more questions about the hidden mysteries of the cave. Scientific implications and speculations of the Devil's Hole expedition. There's an intriguing possibility that the Devil's Hole might be experiencing more complex interactions between its geological features and the surrounding environment. Even though the cave's magnetic anomalies could be linked to deeper and less understood geological processes, further studies are needed to explore whether these anomalies result from local geological activity or indicate something more profound about the Earth's magnetic field. The sudden and powerful underwater currents observed by the drone add another layer of mystery to Devil's Hole. Unlike typical currents driven by temperature gradients or tides, these currents appeared to be influenced by unknown factors. The unpredictability and strength of these currents suggest that underlying processes at work may not yet be understood. One theory is that these currents could be linked to seismic activity. The region's tectonic activity might displace water or create underground shifts that generate these currents. However, this hypothesis has not been conclusively proven. Another possibility is that the cave's unique topography, including its narrow passageways and sudden depth changes, might amplify the effects of these currents. The presence of unexplained currents in Devil's Hole raises questions about the cave's hydrodynamics. Scientists are investigating whether factors beyond the immediate area of the cave, such as interactions with larger underground water systems, influence these currents. Understanding the causes of these currents could provide insights into the cave's complex environment and its connections to other underground systems. The Devil's Hole is remarkable in its sensitivity to distant seismic activity. The cave's water levels have been observed to rise and fall dramatically in response to earthquakes occurring thousands of miles away. In a remarkable display of Earth's interconnectedness, a 7.6 magnitude earthquake off Mexico's coast triggered waves in Devil's Hole, over 1,500 miles away.
This is a big earthquake, or it's really close.
Just 5 minutes after the quake struck, the usually calm waters of this remote cave pool began to surge, creating waves up to 4 feet high. How did this happen? Devil's Hole is an unusual natural seismograph capable of detecting seismic activity from across the globe. As a result of its unique geological setup and advanced monitoring equipment, scientists were able to observe these dramatic waves caused by the distant earthquake. The pool's sensitivity is particularly pronounced with significant quakes, especially those along the Pacific Ring of Fire. This sensitivity suggests that Devil's Hole might be part of a larger, interconnected network of underground water systems. The phenomenon of distant earthquakes affecting Devil's Hole is known as a hydrological response. When seismic waves from an earthquake travel through the Earth's crust, they can cause changes in water levels in isolated bodies of water like Devil's Hole. Observing that even minor tremors from across the globe can trigger significant water level changes is fascinating and perplexing. Scientists speculate that Devil's Hole might be connected to a vast network of underground water channels that transmit seismic energy across great distances. This theory proposes that seismic waves could travel through these interconnected channels, causing water in Devil's Hole to react as if it were directly affected by the earthquake. This concept of a global network of underground water systems is still speculative, but offers a potential explanation for the cave's unusual hydrological responses. Given the weird nature of their findings, the scientists released the footage to the public. The extraordinary discoveries in Devil's Hole have sparked various speculations and conspiracy theories. Some researchers and observers have suggested that the government might hide information about the cave's true nature. The unexplained currents and sensitivity to global seismic events have led to suspicions that there might be more to Devil's Hole than publicly disclosed. One theory is that the government has known about Devil's Hole's secrets for years and deliberately kept them hidden. The lack of detailed information from official sources and reports of increased security around the cave fuels this theory. Critics argue that the government's reluctance to release all available data could be motivated by a desire to avoid public panic or conduct its own investigations secretly. So, what is the government saying about the matter? Government's response to the release of the drone footage. When the footage from the underwater drone went to the public, the world expected an immediate explosive response from the authorities. After all, what could be more unsettling than seeing a place like Devil's Hole, a seemingly ordinary cave, harbor such eerie secrets beneath its surface? But the reaction from the National Park Service, the government body overseeing Devil's Hole, was almost too calm. In their official statement, the Park Service assured the public that the footage and data were being analyzed. They described the findings as unusual but under review. That's it. No alarming warnings, no dramatic revelations, just a quiet note that everything was being handled. But this nonchalant attitude raised more questions than it answered. If the findings were so mundane, why did they emphasize that the area was still being protected and that no additional visits would be allowed? What exactly were they studying? Were they telling us the whole story? Or was there something deeper, something more sinister, that they were keeping under wraps? Then came the unmarked vans. A few days after the footage surfaced, several Death Valley National Park visitors reported seeing unfamiliar vehicles and what appeared to be government personnel stationed near the entrance to Devil's Hole. Why the sudden interest? What were they guarding? Rumors spread quickly. Some believed that the government was hiding something far more terrifying than they were letting on, perhaps something dangerous or even otherworldly. Others suggested discoveries were being made and didn't want the public to know just yet. Was the unusual findings possibly more shocking than they were willing to admit? Could it be that the government's silence was a way to prevent mass panic? If so, what exactly were they afraid of? These questions hung in the air as more and more people speculated about what might lie beneath the surface of Devil's Hole. It wasn't just the mysterious government presence that got people talking. The footage, those strange formations and unexplained disturbances, set the media ablaze. News outlets quickly picked up the story, and it wasn't long before every corner of the internet was filled with theories about what the drone had captured. What was that peculiar shadow in the depths? Could it be a previously undiscovered creature or even something supernatural? Social media platforms excitedly buzzed as armchair investigators pored over every second of the footage. Conspiracy theorists, of course, had a field day. Was the government hiding evidence of extraterrestrial life? Were they covering up a potentially catastrophic environmental disaster? The theories, some wild and others more plausible, seemed endless. They wondered if the Devil's Hole was a portal to another world, or whether it was home to some ancient species we've yet to understand. The possibilities were endless and terrifying. As the footage continued circulating and people debated what was captured, a larger question loomed. How much should the public know? On one side of the argument were those who demanded full transparency, but others argued for caution. What if the whole truth led to mass hysteria? Revealing too much about the strange happenings in Devil's Hole could cause unnecessary panic. Worse, this knowledge might be dangerous in the wrong hands. It may be best to let the experts handle it behind closed doors. The debate raged on. Some people were desperate for answers, while others were content to wait. But one thing was certain: the mystery of Devil's Hole wasn't going away anytime soon. What had begun as a simple scientific expedition had now spiraled into one of the modern age's most captivating and terrifying mysteries. So what is the government hiding, if anything? And what do the findings from Devil's Hole mean for all of us? As speculation grows, one question remains: will we ever get the full story? Theories and speculation about the Devil's Hole mystery. As the footage from the underwater drone continued to make waves worldwide, one thing became clear. This mystery was far from solved. Experts, enthusiasts, and conspiracy theorists alike couldn't resist diving deep into the unknown. What exactly was lurking beneath Devil's Hole? Was it something natural, or could it be something far more sinister? Theories quickly emerged, each one more intriguing than the last. One of the most popular theories suggests that Devil's Hole might be connected to an ancient civilization. Some researchers believe the strange formations captured by the drone are remnants of a long-lost world that time forgot. Beneath the deserts of Nevada and California, vast cave systems could have housed ancient societies hidden away from the rest of the world. These theories are valid, as human history is filled with stories of lost cities and forgotten cultures. Devil's Hole could be another piece of that puzzle. These civilizations may have had access to knowledge and technology far beyond what we understand today. The strange disturbances in the water and the peculiar shadows could be signs of advanced mechanisms left behind by a society that vanished thousands of years ago. If that's the case, something must have happened to them. They may have descended deeper into the earth, retreating into the shadows to escape a catastrophe. They could have left secrets we are only now beginning to uncover. It's possible that deep within Devil's Hole lies the key to a civilization we've never known, a civilization that may have understood the world in ways we can only dream of. Of course, not all theories are rooted in science or history. For many, the footage captured in Devil's Hole taps into something far more primal: fear of the unknown. The strange happenings at Devil's Hole may not just be scientific phenomena, but something more supernatural. Some believers in the paranormal argue that Devil's Hole is a gateway to another dimension, a portal between our world and the afterlife. The unexplained noises, strange water movements, and sudden temperature drops reported by the research team all point to something otherworldly. The cave could be haunted by the spirits of those who perished there, or perhaps by something far older and more powerful. The region around Devil's Hole is steeped in Native American mythology, with some tribes believing the area to be sacred and dangerous. According to legend, spirits guard the entrance to the underworld, punishing anyone who ventures too close. These ancient stories might be more than just myths. The drone may have disturbed something that was meant to stay hidden. It's enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. While many dismiss these theories as fantasy, others believe Devil's Hole proves there's much more to our world than we understand. While the supernatural explanation draws on ghostly possibilities, others believe the answer might lie in something more tangible, but no less mysterious. Some suggest a cryptid might be living in Devil's Hole. Cryptids, whose existence has not been scientifically proven, have fascinated humans for centuries. From the Loch Ness Monster to Bigfoot, stories of hidden beasts have persisted across cultures and time. Devil's Hole may be home to a creature never seen before. Theorists point to strange movements in the footage, resembling ripples caused by a large, moving entity. An undiscovered aquatic creature may have been living in the deep, isolated waters of Devil's Hole, undetected by human eyes until now. Interestingly, cryptids like the Loch Ness Monster are often linked to underwater caves and deep, isolated bodies of water. Devil's Hole could be hiding something similar. A creature thriving in such an environment raises questions. Could it be dangerous, or simply living undisturbed by the outside world? Why has it remained hidden for so long? Some wonder if this creature could be intelligent, skillfully evading capture or detection for years. No modern mystery is complete without a conspiracy theory. As public curiosity grew, many began to question the role of the government in this affair. The sudden increase in security at Devil's Hole raised further suspicion. Some theorists suggest that the government is covering up the true nature of Devil's Hole, possibly because the findings could challenge the very foundations of our understanding of the world. Many believe the truth is too big to reveal, whether it involves extraterrestrial evidence, cryptids, or ancient civilizations. The reaction could lead to panic or fear if something unexplainable lurked beneath the surface. Governments have often kept secrets under the guise of national security, and this might be no different. Others speculate that the drone captured evidence of government experiments gone wrong. Devil's Hole might be a testing ground for new technology, biological research, or even weapons development, and the footage might have revealed something unexpected that they are now trying to hide. Despite these theories, one thing is clear: no one truly knows what's happening beneath the surface of Devil's Hole. Whether it's a lost civilization, a supernatural force, a hidden creature, or a government cover-up, the mystery remains unsolved. And that is what makes Devil's Hole both terrifying and captivating. What do you think? Could there be a truth to these theories, or are they just the result of our imaginations running wild? Is it possible that Devil's Hole holds the answers to questions we've been asking for centuries? Or is it a reminder that some places are better left unexplored? Let us know in the comments. We hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.